I want to leave my partner after I discovered her past.
What is her past?
And trigger warning, mentions of abuse and parental abandonment. I, 33 male, met Julie, 32 female, a little over a year ago at a party, and we hit it right off. We went out on one date, and I decided right then and there that I wanted to see where this would go. So I talked with her after the date the next day and said that I already really liked her, wanted to go out again, and on the second date asked her if we could be exclusive. Fast, I know, but I had never had such a connection with anyone before. By the way, this comes from Birthday Lies, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. We're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, 6 months in, one of us was staying the night with the other every single night. So we moved in together. She is bright, funny, schmexy as heck, and an overall great person. However, about 10 months in, while looking for some shoes in our shared closet, I came across a photo of her, another guy, and 2 small children. Yes, it was in an open box, and I probably shouldn't have looked, but I did.
Dang, so her secret past is that she abandoned her children.
I had no idea what to think, as she had never mentioned it. I knew it would eat at me if I didn't know, and I figured I might as well come clean about looking at the photo. So when she got home, I simply gave her the photo and asked what this was. She was a little angry at me for looking at the photo, but she said she was at least glad I was honest about telling her. She then began to tell me that this was a photo of her ex-husband. I had no idea she was ever married. And her son and daughter. At first, I felt horrible because I thought she was about to tell me they were unalived in a car wreck or something, but instead, she told me she fled her ex because he was harmful. I then asked about her kids. She told me that she left them with him because his family was better able to help him take care of them. She hasn't seen or spoken to her children in 7 years. I don't buy it. I was speechless. I thanked her for telling me, apologized again for seeing the photo, and we went about our day like nothing happened. But the entire thing did not sit right with me. I know this may sound but what mother leaves their children forever in the care of a person who they say was harmful? I think just like, what parent does that? I mean, like, there are cases where you have to get out and you literally just don't have the money. So I had actually gotten to know her sister a little bit. And one day when she was visiting before Julie got home, I simply asked her a little bit about it. She seemed stunned, I knew, and then went on to tell me that Julie was married very young and was very immature. I asked her about the and she said that what little she knew was that it was never physical and that it was only that he didn't want her going out partying and hanging out with friends after the second child was born. She then said she wasn't comfortable talking about it and that I needed to ask Julie if I wanted more. Well, then I went and did probably the dumbest thing I could do. But this was really eating away at me because it was totally out of character for the person I thought I knew. My friend works as a prevention law specialist and does part-time PI work. By using her name and date of birth, he was able to track down her marriage license. We then tracked down her ex. I had him dig up anything he could on him and there was nothing there. Clean record, not even a speeding ticket. You can guess where this is going. I tracked him down via Facebook and contacted him. He wanted to meet up, but he lives several miles away, so we exchanged phone numbers and spoke via phone. I got a totally different story from him, as you can imagine. He said she had been cheating on him during their marriage. In fact, he believes he is not the biological father of their youngest child, although he refuses to have a paternity test because he said he is the father and it doesn't matter. He said that after he caught her in the second affair, he told her that she could no longer hang out with her girlfriends who were helping and encouraging her to cheat. He said he went to work one day and came home to a note saying that the kids were at his mom's and she was leaving. Yeah, he said that he was heartbroken and begged her to at least visit the children, but she told him that she felt she had made a mistake getting married so young and having children, and she needed to be free. That was over 7 years ago, and he said that after the divorce, neither he nor the children have heard from her again. He said the youngest one has no real memory of her, and the older child only vaguely remembers her. I don't know why, but I believe his story word for word. Needless to say, this has weighed on me since he and I talked. She does not know I have done this. I am aware that this is a massive breach of trust, and if I were her, I would dump me. But right now, I'm really deciding how this makes me feel about her. For the record, she has been nothing but great to me. But a person who abandons their children, how much can you really trust them? Also, in 5 to 10 years, what if something happens to me? Would she be there to take care of me and help me, or would she abandon me as well? How big of a butt am I for having these thoughts? Smart butt. I already know I'm a butt for snooping, but to be blunt, I'm not really sorry for doing it because I really like having information when I'm thinking about making life-altering decisions. And there is an update.
I mean, you didn't even read this.
Update. Well, my original plan was to just wait this all out until after the holiday season, including New Year's. But to be honest, it felt wrong to do that if something was going to happen and we would separate.
Yeah.
So last night when she got off work, I told her we needed to talk. and we sat in the kitchen at the table. I just told her that since I accidentally found out about her past life, I was having trouble reconciling what I thought I knew about her versus what seemed to be a very different life. Anyway, to make this short and sweet, because God knows the conversation we had was neither of those, I'll just throw out the highlights. First thing, right at the bat, I confessed to talking with her ex. Yes, that went over as well as you can imagine. I freely admitted that I overstepped in some ways. However, I would only apologize so much for it, because as I reminded her, she was never forthcoming about any of this. Of course, I got the entire, "it was none of my business" yelling, which I deserved to a point.
No.
Until I told her that since we had spoken about possibly getting married in the future, I felt like I did have the right to know if she was obligated financially to her 2 previous children. Also, how would this affect her ever wanting or having children again? Spoiler alert, she is thousands upon thousands of dollars behind in child support. Also deserve to know that. That's just financial, Anyway, once I got her to stop yelling at me, I then made mistake number 2. I told her what he told me. She asked, by the way. Well, this started the second round of yelling about how harmful he was and controlling.
So I'm starting to get the vibe that you just think you make a mistake when she's upset.
Hope so. I let her go on, but when she finally settled down, I just asked her if it was true. She finally admitted it was. She did cheat on him twice in their marriage. So I asked her to define abuse for me, because at this point, I wanted to know what she considered abuse, since I had a feeling I'd be labeled harmful here. Sure enough, she said he didn't want her going out to bars and drinking. He didn't want her hanging out with friends without him there as well. I never told her that he said it was the same group of friends who enabled her cheating. I just let her go on. So now is where mistake number 3 came into play, and this was pretty much the nail in the coffin for both of us. I asked her what she thought about kids in the future, and how I could be assured that history wouldn't repeat itself. I'll spare you the cussing I got over that one, and I'll give you what she finally, in the end, admitted to. She was too young, didn't get the partying out of her system, and didn't like the responsibility of being a mother at the time. However, she feels like she could now. Both agreed that this relationship just took a torpedo that it could not recover from. The trust was broken by both of us, and we decided, amicably I might add, that we just go on our way. I'm sure someday she'll be a fine partner to someone, but to be honest, I don't think I could have gone long-term with her, because I would be looking over my shoulder the entire time, waiting for something to happen. She has changed, I can assume, from where she was in her mid-20s, but with the back child support, no guarantee that she wouldn't do this again, and other things that came to mind, I don't feel as bad about this as I probably should. And there is a second update. I was kind of vague about this last night because I already thought I was going too long, but something changed this morning, so I'll throw this out there. The reason I know she's thousands of dollars behind on support is because she told me. She said her lawyer was vindictive and asked for more than she thought was fair. I don't believe her.
Yeah, I feel like she's probably a lying to you.
She managed to skirt paying because we live in a geographic area that has 3 state borders within about 150 miles. What? She would take jobs working as a waitress and would then job hop, keeping ahead of the state agency that collects child support. Then she would move states, making it more difficult to collect. Eventually, she just got ahead of them and has been living in a state away from her ex, and he doesn't know where she lives or who her employer is. She now has a job that she has been at for 3 years and values that job a lot. Well, this might be a crappy thing to do to her, but her gleeful description of avoiding paying child support did not sit well with me. So I texted her ex-husband, her current employer. Nice!
Yep.
I did not give him her address, and it might have been the wrong thing to do, but the more I thought about the ex and her kids, the more it bothered me. Is it weird that I actually now feel bad for her ex-husband? No!
Opie, did you just get here to Earth?
You should feel bad. She abandoned him and his kids.